Okay, Rissa, I'll play with you, baby. You want to post a fake anniversary? You want to get on your little Instagram and tell the world July 6th, 2024, like it's a national holiday? Cool. We gon' play the games. Because see, this is what I do. I'm a guy that sits back, lets you cook, lets you stir the pot, lets you flap them jaws in every podcast, every interview, every little tweet. And then I come in with the receipts and dismantle the entire fairy tale in front of everybody. Claressa Shields, you and MC Papoose, and yeah, I said MC Papoose, because who in the year of our Lord 2026 is calling their grown man MC Papoose on Instagram like this ain't 2003? The two of y'all just posted another one of these corny, sneaky, drilled into your brain. We met on this specific date, this specific fight, this specific first picture, anniversary posts. And the reason y'all keep doing that, the reason y'all keep beating this July 6th drum like a war chant, is because the lie needs constant maintenance. A truth don't need maintenance. A truth stands up by itself. A lie needs you posting it every 6 months, tagging it, hashtagging it, reminding the timeline, reminding your fans, reminding yourself. Because deep down y'all know the real timeline. And in this video, I'm not repeating the stuff I already dropped in the last 3 videos on this situation. I dug back into the rabbit hole. I unearthed things I hadn't even touched yet. New receipts. New timeline breaks. New contradictions in her own mouth from her own interviews. And by the time we get to the piece of evidence I saved for the end, the Tony Rich August 21st post, you're going to understand why this whole Black Love 2.0 storyline is one of the sloppiest, most poorly constructed cover stories the culture has seen in years. Buckle up. It's about to get bumpy. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, and subscribe. Let's get into it. Now for the people just tapping in for the first time, let me set the whole board up for you so you understand the stakes, because this ain't just gossip. This is a full-blown cultural con job wrapped in a boxing career that is currently on life support. Claressa Shields is a decorated, undefeated, multi-division world champion, 19-time world champion, 2 Olympic gold medals, one of the most accomplished female boxers in the history of the sport. That's real. Nobody's taking that away from her. But somewhere between the accolades and the GWYT self-branding campaign, this woman decided her personal life needed a rebrand too. And she picked the worst possible partner in Papoose, a New York rapper who, per multiple reports, is still legally married to Remy Ma, because that divorce has not been finalized by a judge, no matter how many Instagram captions try to spin it otherwise. Remy Ma and Papoose married in 2016 and represented, for years, one of the most publicly celebrated black love pairings in hip-hop culture. That was the brand. That was the reality show. That was the whole aesthetic. And in December 2024, according to reporting from Complex and multiple other outlets, Remy Ma publicly went on Instagram and revealed that her husband and Claressa Shields were dating, and she dropped alleged text messages to prove it. That was the moment the entire fairy tale cracked open in front of the whole culture. Since then, Claressa and Papoose have been running around trying to rewrite the story in real time. They've been on podcasts. They've been on The Breakfast Club. They've done couples interviews. They've posted anniversary after anniversary. They've flooded the timeline with "We met July 6th, 2024 at the Shakur Stevenson fight in Newark. This was our first picture. We didn't know each other before. Don't listen to the bloggers." The exact same 3 sentences on repeat from both of their mouths, on both of their accounts, at every possible opportunity. And meanwhile, in the real world, Claressa's boxing career is quietly leaking oil. Her upcoming fight against K. Scott, scheduled for August 15th, 2026 in Atlanta, has been getting the kind of promotional resistance you don't want to see if you're the self-proclaimed GWAT. Tickets have been getting adjusted. The buzz around the fight is nowhere near what it should be for someone with her resume. And that is not a coincidence. Because when your personal brand collapses, your box office collapses right behind it. So what we are actually watching in real time is a decorated champion torching her own commercial value to protect a relationship built on a timeline that does not add up. The stakes here are her legacy, her wallet, her marketability, and the culture's willingness to ever call her Black Love again. That is the real question this video is going to answer. Not whether they're together. We know they're together. The question is, when did it actually start? And why are they so desperate for you to believe it started on July 6th? Now, let's start with what everybody can see. Layer 1. Surface evidence. The stuff that's out in the open, verifiable, time-stamped, and impossible for these two to walk back. Piece 1. The anniversary posts themselves. Both Claressa and Papoose, on July 6, 2026, posted the exact same photo, with nearly identical captions, both anchoring the date July 6, 2024, both mentioning the Shakur Stevenson fight in Newark, both calling it their first picture and their first meeting. According to the Shade Room, Claressa wrote, "It's July 6th, exactly 2 years ago, I met MC Papoose. So crazy what can happen in 2 years. This was our first time meeting and our first picture." Papoose reposted with Tony, "It's our anniversary energy," adding, "On this day, July 6th, 2024, I met Claressa Shields. This is the first picture we ever took, not knowing a bright future was ahead of us. And I want you to hear me clearly on this. Real couples do not post like this. Real couples do not both, on the same day, on separate accounts, repeat the exact same date, the exact same event, and the exact same first picture, phrasing like they memorized the same script. That is the language of two people who have gotten legal advice, PR advice, or brand management advice about what to say and when to say it. And she did the same thing in 2025 for the 1 year, per Shade Room's own reporting. Same date, same event, same phrasing. This is a coordinated public relations campaign, not an anniversary. Piece 2, The Breakfast Club interview from August 14th, 2024. Everybody go look this up. It is on the Breakfast Club's own YouTube channel. Claressa sat there across from Charlemagne, and Charlemagne pointed out to her that she had been engaged. Her response was long pauses, deflection. "I've been engaged," repeated back, as if she couldn't quite land the sentence. Then she went on to say she wants to be married before having kids. She wants a 2-parent home, private schooling, all the good stuff. "But I gotta find the right person though," her exact framing. Charlemagne then asked her directly about her dating life. Her answer? "I'm not even on that yet. There's a lot of guys trying to court me, but I just don't care right now. It's like focus." Ma'am. That interview aired August 14th, 2024. According to her own tweet later, which we'll get to, she claims she'd been living her best life with Papoose since mid-August 2024. That's a gap measured in days, not months. Piece 3, Hot New Hip Hop's own published relationship timeline, which walks through the exact sequence of when the affair allegedly began, when Remy exposed the text messages, when Papoose filed for divorce, and when the couple finally went public. It is documented. Piece 4, The K. Scott Fight Promotion. Look at the marketing rollout for August 15th, 2026 at State Farm Arena in Atlanta. Compare the buzz around this fight to any of her previous title bouts. The engagement is not there. The ticket demand is not there. And that is a direct commercial reflection of what the audience thinks of her right now. Piece 5, and this one is a gut punch, the interviews. Multiple interviews, where she keeps repeating, July 6th, 2024, Shakur fight in Newark. We haven't missed a day of talking since. She says it on Pivot. She says it on Breakfast Club follow-ups. She says it on Instagram Lives. She says it in the couple's clips. Papoose says it too. The date, the event, the first picture, the we talked every day since. Repeated, rehearsed, reinforced. And I keep telling y'all, Real love doesn't need a rehearsed script. Only lies need to be memorized. And oh, do I have more for you. This next stretch is where the Papoose fans still holding on, all 6 of them, are really going to hate what I'm about to lay down. Because if you thought the surface receipts were bad, wait until we get into what the industry insiders, her own peers, and Remy Ma herself have already put on the record. And speaking of which, the Remy Ma text drop that started this whole thing, I'm about to pull that back out and cross-reference it against her own tweet where she said, since mid-August, because the two things do not agree with each other. At all. Buckle in. Because this is where boxing ego really shows you the difference between a fan with a camera and a real researcher with receipts. Now, let's move to layer 2. The cultural evidence. The insider stuff. The community reactions. The people who actually know these two or know the industry they operate in and have quietly been telling on them since day one. Piece 1. Remy Ma's December 2024 receipt drop. Per reporting from Yahoo, The Tribune, and multiple hip-hop outlets, Remy Ma took to Instagram in December 2024 and posted alleged text messages between Papoose and Claressa Shields. In those messages, Claressa reportedly told Papoose she was not happy but would just stop, and one screenshot shows her allegedly telling him to do something today about this girl, meaning Remy, because the situation was affecting her. Remy also alleged that Papoose fell asleep on the phone with Claressa while at their marital home, and that at one point Claressa heard Remy's voice in the background and hung up quickly. Now sit with that for a second. If July 6, 2024 was your very first meeting, if you didn't know this man from a can of paint before that Shakur fight, how are you months later, deep enough in his life to be on the phone with him while he's laying in bed at his marital home, hanging up when you hear his wife walk in? That is not the behavior of somebody who met at a boxing event and exchanged an innocent hello. That is a full-blown affair pattern. Piece 2. The couple's interview clip where Claressa literally admits it. On camera. In her own words. She said, and I quote from the widely circulated interview footage, "We were a private relationship since around like August, around that time. I didn't want to be public with another relationship. Private relationship." Her words. Since August. Her words. She said Remy is the one who put us on blast by leaking the text messages. So according to Claressa Shields' own mouth, she and Papoose were secretly in a relationship starting in August 2024, 1 month after her supposed first meeting, while he was still living with Remy Ma, and while she herself was doing an interview on The Breakfast Club claiming she wasn't dating anybody. And I want the honest fans on the other side of this to acknowledge something. Some of y'all are going to say, well, feelings can move fast. I hear you. I do. I'm not one of those commentators that refuses to consider the other side. Feelings can move fast. People do fall quickly. That's real. But feelings moving fast does not explain going on a nationally syndicated radio interview and lying about your dating life to millions of listeners while you are already in a private relationship. That's not fast feelings. That's a coordinated deception. Those are two different things, and I need y'all to be honest about the distinction. Piece 3. The 20 vs. 1 dating show. Sneak peek posted November 13, 2024, per Claressa's own fan page on Facebook, with the full episode released on the platform shortly after. In that show, Claressa is popping balloons on 20 different men based on whether they meet her standards. One man reveals he is 39 years old with 4 kids by 4 different mothers. Claressa immediately pops his balloon, then makes this whole dramatic performance about handsome face. Why you got 4 kids? Now, Papoose is 47, 48 years old. Papoose has, per public reporting, at least 4 kids across multiple relationships, including his marriage to Remy Ma. So the standard she performed on national YouTube on November 13, 2024, no baby mama drama, kids as a deal breaker, is the exact opposite of the man she was, by her own admission, in a private relationship with since August 2024. Piece 4. The boxing peers and hip-hop community reaction. Nobody in her weight class is publicly co-signing this. No major female boxing figure has publicly backed the Papoose relationship. No major hip-hop figure of Remy's era has publicly co-signed Papoose, leaving Remy for Claressa. Even people who don't care about the drama personally are keeping their distance because they can smell what this is. That silence from the industry, that is deafening. When Remy and Papoose were the black love couple, everybody wanted a photo. Now, crickets. That community response is a receipt too, whether people want to admit it or not. Now here's where we shift gears, and I need everybody to lock in for this next stretch, because we are moving from the entertainment layer to the layer that most of these little tabloid channels don't touch. Everything I've laid out so far, the fake anniversary posts, the Breakfast Club lie, the Remy Ma text drop, the 20 vs. 1 balloon nonsense, the sneaky private relationship confession, all of that is entertaining. All of that is compelling. But if that's all you take away from this video, you're missing the actual story. Because underneath all of this is a business collapse in progress. And that is the part nobody in the reaction space is willing to sit down and break apart for you. So we're going to do it right now. Angle 1. The boxing economy and what a compromised personal brand does to a fighter's earning ceiling. Women's boxing, unlike men's boxing, does not have decades of institutional purse infrastructure. Female fighters have to build their commercial value primarily through personality, marketability, and cultural crossover. Ronda Rousey did it. Katie Taylor did it. Amanda Serrano did it. Claressa was on that same trajectory. She had the Netflix documentary. She had the pop culture crossover potential. She had the mainstream media appetite. But mainstream sponsors, the ones that write the biggest checks, they run away from messy, personal storylines. They do not want to attach their brand to she got with somebody's husband while he was still living with his wife. Full stop. That's not a moral judgment. That's a corporate reality. Every major sponsor has a morality clause. Every major broadcast partner has brand safety concerns. And when your personal life becomes a running joke and a receipts investigation on every commentary channel, sponsors quietly move to other athletes. That is money leaving her career in real time, and she will never publicly acknowledge how much it has already cost her. Angle 2. The promotional infrastructure and the ticket problem. When you look at the rollout for the K. Scott fight on August 15, 2026 at State Farm Arena, and you compare the level of media push, the co-headline energy, the buzz on boxing Twitter, the reaction from the general sports media. It is not what it should be for a 19-time world champion in the biggest women's boxing division. There is fatigue around Claressa Shields as a public figure. Not around Claressa Shields as a fighter, around Claressa Shields as a personality. And in boxing, the personality is what sells the pay-per-view. The personality is what fills the arena. The personality is what makes the broadcast deals renew. And when the personality has become synonymous with a corny anniversary post and a sloppy timeline, the promotional machine starts spending its energy on fighters whose narrative is cleaner. That's how you go from headlining Netflix specials to fighting on undercards nobody's talking about. It's a slow bleed. It's already happening. Angle 3, the hip-hop side of the equation, because Papoose has his own commercial collapse running parallel to hers. Papoose, for the entirety of his career, has been a technically skilled New York lyricist with a devoted but limited base. He never crossed into the mainstream commercial tier the way Remy did, and his most valuable public asset was, honestly, being married to Remy Ma. That marriage was his cultural relevance passport for the last decade. It kept him on love and hip-hop. It kept him in the celebrity ecosystem. It kept him in the black love conversation. The moment he detonated that marriage, and the moment he did it in a way that made him look like the villain, leaving a legendary female MC to be with a younger boxer while allegedly still legally married, he blew up the one asset that was keeping his commercial value stable. And now he's tied to Claressa's declining commercial value on the boxing side. Two collapsing brands tied together, celebrating fake anniversaries on Instagram. That's not black love. That's a mutual liability agreement. And here is where all three angles converge, because this is what most people don't understand about how the industry actually works. When two public figures with declining commercial value get together, they don't stabilize each other. They accelerate each other's decline. Because now every commercial decision, every sponsor conversation, every booking, every media appearance has to be filtered through the joint story instead of the individual story. Claressa can't do a clean Women in Boxing feature without a reporter asking about Papoose. Papoose can't do a hip-hop interview without a host asking about Remy. Every opportunity becomes a landmine. Every conversation becomes a defense of the timeline. That is not how you grow a career. That is how you spend the last real years of your peak fighting off narrative fires. And meanwhile, the actual receipts about when this started, the receipts I'm about to close this out with, keep piling up on top of them. So here is the truth bomb, and I've been building to this for the entire video. Save the best for last, like I always do. Everybody, remember what Claressa said in that interview? We were a private relationship since around August, around that time. Everybody remember what she tweeted? We've been living our best life since mid-August of last year. I really enjoyed our private relationship. Mid-August 2024. Her own words. Her own tweet. Her own admission. Cool. Now tell me why. On August 21st, 2024, Tony Rich, her ex-fiancé, posted a picture of Claressa Shields on his social media with the caption, "I love you, Claressa Shields," with red heart emojis. August 21st, 2024. 6 days after her Breakfast Club interview. Multiple weeks after her supposed July 6th first meeting with Papoose. And squarely inside the mid-August window she herself defined as the start of her private relationship with Papoose. This is not me guessing. This is her mouth versus his post. Her tweet versus his Instagram. Her timeline versus his timeline. And they do not agree. There is no version of this story where Tony Rich, a man she was publicly engaged to for years, is posting, "I love you, Claressa Shields," with heart emojis on August 21st, 2024, a full 6 weeks after she claims she met the love of her life. Unless one of two things is true. Either he was under the impression the relationship was still active, which means she was double-dealing, or he knew it was over, and he was publicly humiliating himself on his own account for no reason, which no grown man does. Neither one of those options makes Claressa look good. Neither one of them is consistent with the "we met July 6th, we've been in love ever since, don't listen to the bloggers" narrative that she and Papoose have been drilling into everybody's head. This is why I keep telling you. This timeline is not just messy, it is fabricated. And the fabricator got sloppy. She talked too much. She posted too much. She confirmed her own contradictions in her own mouth on her own accounts. Boxing ego doesn't have to make anything up. I just have to line the receipts up next to each other and let the audience read them. 2 years of her career. Manufactured anniversaries. Manipulated narrative. And a fiancé posting, "I love you," with heart emojis a full month after she supposedly moved on. That's not a relationship. That's a cover story that failed the timeline test in real time. And here's the beautiful part. While all of this is unraveling, while Claressa is out here trying to convince the world that July 6th is a sacred date and MC Papoose is her soulmate, the people who actually operate with discipline and integrity are still moving. The fighters who don't need a fake anniversary to prove they're loved. The artists who don't need to leak their own timeline to sell their music. The commentators, the honest ones, who don't need to sensationalize because the facts by themselves are enough. That's the difference. One side is out here in Aruba taking birthday pictures with a man who has a wife tattoo on his arm. The other side is putting in the reps, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and letting the receipts speak for themselves. And that's why, no matter how many corny MC Papoose anniversary posts drop, no matter how many rehearsed interviews they do, no matter how many private dinners get staged for Instagram, the truth doesn't need staging. The truth doesn't need hashtags. The truth doesn't need to be posted twice a year, by both accounts on the exact same day, with the exact same wording. The truth just sits there, waiting for somebody to line the dates up. And when somebody finally does, the whole story falls apart in front of the audience it was built for. That is what integrity looks like on one side of this. And that is what a manufactured narrative collapse looks like on the other. This is the reason people who did things the right way, who built their careers without stepping over somebody else's marriage, without lying in interviews, without needing to script a private relationship into a public fairy tale. Those people are still standing tall while this situation is quietly leaking commercial value week over week. The GWAT branding does not save you from a bad timeline. The 19 world titles do not save you from a fiancé posting "I love you" in August 2024. The Netflix documentary does not save you from Remy Ma's text message drop. Discipline saves you. Integrity saves you. Telling the truth saves you. And Claressa Shields, for whatever reason, chose the exact opposite of that path. And now the culture is watching her pay for it in slow motion. And this is only the start. Because there are two things coming down the pipe that are going to make this current mess look like a warm-up. Number one, that August 15th, 2026 K. Scott fight. Watch the promotional numbers around that fight. Watch the ticket demand. Watch the broadcast ratings. I'm telling you right now in this video on the record, that fight is going to underperform relative to her resume. And when it does, the commentary space is going to have to reckon with why. And it won't be about her boxing skills. It'll be about her personal brand. And number two, the actual final divorce decree between Papoose and Remy Ma that has not been signed by a judge. Per multiple reports, they remain legally married. When that decree finally comes down, and when the terms of it become public, there's going to be a whole other layer of financial and reputational fallout that this couple is not prepared for. I'm going to be here for both. Every step, every filing, every leaked screenshot, every corny anniversary post they try to sneak past the timeline. So if you want to be here for the full story, the real story with the real receipts from the guy who actually does the research, you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Drop your thoughts in the comments so the algorithm knows we're locked in on this one. And if you got any information, any receipts, anything that's floating around the internet that the mainstream channels aren't touching, send it my way, because we are just getting warmed up. And speaking of warming up, the next video I got dropping is even messier than this one. Because while Claressa was busy posting her fake anniversary, another major hip-hop figure quietly made a move behind the scenes that is going to change the entire conversation about who's really running the New York rap machine right now. I'm not going to say the name in this video, but I'm going to say this. The person you think is winning that situation is not actually the one calling the shots. And when I lay out who is, and when it started, you're going to understand why every headline you've read about that story has been framed on the wrong terms. That video drops next. Do not miss it. Turn your notifications on. Check me.